Welcome to the Level Up Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Mr. John, and I got my analysts ready to ride with this upcoming NFL draft on Thursday night. I got Wes, I got James, I got Amon, and I got CJ ready to get in some action, and we will talk all things from the NFC, AFC division, basically all divisions surrounding the NFL, and we will break that down based on needs, and we'll jump into a few questions at the end. So to kick it off, we're going to start off with the NFC and the AFC North divisions. All right, so you got the Green Bay Packers. You also have the Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Chicago Bears. Well, in this division, you're actually going to have no uh, picks coming up from the Green Bay Packers due to that trade that we had with Michael Parsons. Um, that's not going to work out for us there just because of this year we went on and traded that pick away. So somebody's going to be getting them some extra picks. But let me break down for right now the Detroit Lions. Their draft needs for this draft, they actually need an edge rusher, an offensive lineman, as well as a defensive lineman. And in this draft, we do have a great variety of defensive players going. So I'm looking for them to snag one of those defensive players coming out. For the Minnesota Vikings, they are actually needing defensive lineman, the offensive lineman, as well as the defensive back. You also have the Chicago Bears to end out the NFC North. And the Bears, everybody saw how well they did last year as far as the offense, and they exploded with the new head coach with Johnson coming over from the Detroit Lions as offense coordinator. They are actually uh, looking to get defensive this draft. So they're going to look for edge rusher, defensive back, as well as defensive lineman. Now, going over to the AFC North, it's gonna be the wild AFC North. I say this year. You got the Baltimore Ravens. Start with them. The Baltimore Ravens actually need offensive line help as their top need. They also need wide receiver slash tight end and an edge rusher. Now, the interesting team is going to be the Cleveland Browns, who, as it seems, even though last year we were talking about it, we're going to be talking about it again this year. They're going to need a quarterback, which
They
is
don't
kind
need
of
a
wild to me,
quarterback.
but it's what it's said out there. They need a quarterback because they don't have somebody that's a proven franchise player yet. Now that may happen out of Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. We'll see. Don't know yet. The other needs that they're going to need is a wide receiver because they have no go-to wide receiver still. And that's probably why your quarterbacks can't really show themselves right now because they really don't have a go-to receiver. And they also going to need an edge rusher. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, this team is actually going to need a quarterback. You have Aaron Rodgers almost at the verge of retirement. We're still waiting on that, see if he's going to sign on or not. But they need a quarterback, offensive line, as well as a linebacker. And then to end off the AFC North, you're going to have the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Bengals are looking at getting an edge rusher, defensive back, as well as linebacker. So they're just like a few other teams. They need all things defensive. All right. So moving from there, we're going to go to the NFC East.
And they looking like they need a whole lot of help over there. But we'll see. For the most part, so they showing that Dallas, and you know how that owner is over there. But Dallas needs a cornerback, edge rusher, and a linebacker. So it's to me. I don't know because they got the 12th and the 20th pick, so I'm thinking that they're gonna go with an edge rusher, and a linebacker in this first round. and
Mm.
but we'll see how that turns out. They think Dallas may end up trading down. There's a lot of talk of them um, trading down some of their picks, which I wouldn't understand it. If you need an edge rusher and you need a linebacker in the corners, you might as well just go ahead and grab them while you got them at picks 12 and 20. So I don't get that. But I got them getting Ruben, Bain, and Jacob Rodriguez.
Okay.
I say Jacob Rodriguez because the best linebacker right now they saying is going to be Sonny Styles. So that's what they
Yep.
saying. So and then in that same breath we talking about Sonny, I can go right on to the New York Giants because Giants got the fifth in. I'm tracking they got the fifth and the 10th pick,
They do. They
but
actually just that's what they just Amon noted to us the other day that they
yeah,
got a trade with Dexter Lyles. Uh,
yeah.
so they ended up picking
So
that up.
so they actually got they're projecting that the Giants now the Giants are short on a defensive line, O line, and a cornerback. But they got them picking Sonny Lyles out with their top pick. So I don't get that because it's not a need unless you want it to be a need. You know what I'm saying? Or it's just a want because he's the best linebacker. So if
Right.
that's the case, then cool. But um, I definitely think they need to. The Giants they need to focus on like most of them. They need to focus on their O line and you. I had a couple options out there for them, but it just depends on how they gonna go about trying to pick or pick those guys up. Cause they had what is it Freeland and there was another cat at that particular the guard or tackle Spencer Fano. So
Okay.
I don't know what you like. I say, you know, could the Giants have the 10th and the 5th and the 10th pick? All right, cool. You can go get a good defensive player like Sonny Styles,
Hmm.
and then go back and try and get your O line worked on. So, and that's why I say Spencer Fano. I got Spencer Fano going there because Eagles out that division, they only got one pick, the 23rd pick. And they need an edge rusher, O line, and a safety. And if you ask me, again, everybody needs to get their O line together. So I got Freeland going there, getting picked up by the Eagles. I think he'll be a better fit there. They got I think the Eagles have enough on defense. They just need I mean they're saying they need a safety and an edge rusher, but yeah, but their defensive line, their linebackers, the cornerbacks, you get Jalen the protection and get that O line going, then you'll be okay. And then the famous Washington Commanders. We got the seventh pick. And what we need is a DB, wide receiver, and O line. Honestly, O line, I do feel we do need that. It's a secondary need. Wide receiver, I feel like we could either trade or get somebody for that. But DBs, these DBs, man, it's hit or miss. So they got us going for D Lane, the cornerback from LSU, and I agree with him. I agree wholeheartedly. We need to go ahead and get, if not one or two of the top cornerbacks right there out the SEC, and go ahead and just run with it because the way you know what I'm saying the way these wide receivers are coming out now, you're gonna need some fast corners. So that's where I got for the Commanders, and I'm riding with that pick.
All right. All right. So we'll make our way now to the AFC East. Looks like some teams going to have some different quarterbacks this year for sure.
Yeah, so here for this for my side here, I'm looking at the New England Patriots. They made it to the Super Bowl, but when you really look at it, offensive line was a concern to me. At least I think it was a concern, especially during the playoffs. Drake May, he got rushed a lot, pressured a lot. So I think they really definitely need to strengthen the offensive line. The last couple of years they haven't been a good rushing team if you really look at it, especially last year. With their rookie Travion Henderson, he had a couple really good games that show promise in the backfield, but nonetheless, it's been stagnant. So I think they really definitely need to improve that to really complement the passing game. And if they could open that up, I think that'll make them dangerous. To be able to run the ball and continue passing like they're doing right now. I think they also need to pick up additional tackle. They got Clemson's Blake Miller. I think that would be a good fit. They need an interior run blocker. To aid that running game, like I was saying, a good prospect would be Georgia Tech's Kalen Rutledge. They also need an elite pass rusher on defense to complement, Christian Barmore and Draymond Jones. I definitely, because if you really think about it, I feel like looking at New England's defense, I just didn't feel like they had a dominant defense. But when you look on paper, you're like, oh man, and we had that
Mm,
talk. I was like, their defense is pretty solid. When you look at it, it just don't seem like it, but their
yeah,
defense was pretty solid. So I think a pass rusher will definitely help bolster that defense up. But they do have 11 picks. So they could do a lot of stuff with those 11
yeah.
picks. Most likely they're going to be trying to trade up, use some of those picks, whether they throw two picks at one team to see if they could trade up, move up. But I think that with those 11 picks, New England is good for that. If you really think about it, they're real good for that, knowing how to acquire these picks, how to make trades and have a lot of picks for the draft, building up young talent. So, man, making it to the Super Bowl, and right now, I think they're gonna make some good moves, and they're gonna look a lot better. If it was, and I don't think to make it to the Super Bowl, it's not luck. You know what I'm saying? It's just skills, players doing what they
Yeah.
need to do. Following their assignments and having a great coach. So. That's New England. They pretty much there already. Just need a little bit more. Buffalo Bills, they need an elite pass rusher. When I look at Buffalo, man, it's like their defense just it didn't seem like they had an explosive defense, but they're winning, and you're like,
Mhm.
how are they winning? They don't have a good offense. I mean, they don't have a lot of good, receivers. They need one of those types of explosive deep threat. You can It's hard to win championships, when you don't have that type of receiver talent. It's good to spread the ball. It's great. It shows you're a really good
Mhm.
quarterback. You could get the ball around, but you need that deep threat. It's really going to take some people deep, and they're going to draw attention and free up your other guys who are solid receivers, especially if you're a good quarterback who could get the ball to receivers. Imagine you got a deep threat. You know what I'm saying? That's going to drive defenders and pull two defenders to them. Man, you're going to be unstoppable. And that's
Oh
what
yeah,
they needed to do, especially when you have a solid defense. So I think if they get that pass rusher to strengthen, they need to strengthen their interior offensive line. They got to add, that deep threat wide receiver. They need to also I would also, if I'm them, I would think about maybe getting like a talented linebacker, because with your defense, you always need to have a good core linebacker to really control that run game. So I think with Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech might be a good option for them. In linebacker position, and then they could like if you could Gabe Akers would be a good pick for them as well. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of moving pieces they need there, but I think primarily on defense and getting a deep threat wide receiver to kind of complement what they got going on. But what I think too is the cap space. They need to make cap space, because some of these teams, we may say they need this, they need that, but they got to make that cap space, because right now, some of these guys are making a lot of money. So I think if they could find, because if you're a star player, you want to make it to you want to win rings. You got to be understand that you could take less, so you could pay these other playmakers that needs to be around you.
yeah.
So I think that's very important. Who else now? Miami Dolphins. I'm working in the order from what they ranked during the for the division. So Miami Dolphins, kind of looking at them, man, they need a lot of work. They need a lot of help. They got to improve the depth in the secondary, especially safety. Jalen Ramsey, he needs like another solid defender on the opposite side of him to be able to shut people down. And he needs stability at QB. Because I'm just saying, I'm not saying get another QB within the draft if you feel like Tua Tagovailoa is still like that guy, but with his injury record, you have to have concern. You need a good, solid backup QB that's gonna come in, know the offense, so they could be able to take off like without missing or skipping a beat. So I think QB is a focal point. It should be for them at least. So I'm
Yeah.
like, imagine like, and they even need offensive line to be better. Like as good as a chain was, imagine if you think about him, like if they had a better offensive line that's gonna protect the QB, because he got Tua got hit a lot. So if you got pick on both of them, like make that offensive line better, you have more time for the QB to pass, and you got a great running back. So imagine that running game will be nearly unstoppable if you like get a couple more pieces on that offensive line to really help out that passing game and that running game.
Man, I'll just
Also,
make a quick thought in there, what you just
yeah, yeah,
said, James. For the Miami Dolphins, man, it's gonna be the first year they don't have Waddle, which went to the Denver Broncos,
yeah,
or Tyreek Hill that went out because of that injury.
yeah.
So they're gonna look totally different on offense, man. You have the two top pass catchers and no Tua. Granted, Tua wasn't the greatest in the last couple of years, but that's gonna look totally different, man.
Exactly, 100%. And yeah, and now think about that. That's another thing. They do need receivers as well because who's your core receivers now? So
Yeah.
yeah, they need to work on that because who knows Tyreek Hill when he's coming back. If he comes back, great. Will he be the same receiver? Honestly, he wasn't the same receiver before he got injured.
Nope.
So they really need to work up on picking up some solid receivers. You need so many pieces that you're gonna have to like really sacrifice, figure out what's best right now, maybe work on one area, and then I don't know. They need a lot. Um,
Hey James,
yeah.
did the Dolphins get a new head coach? Did they
Yes,
fire
they
him?
did. Yeah, they
Yeah, so
got it.
that,
Yeah.
so yeah, yeah, they need a lot.
They got a new head coach,
Yeah.
which they needed because they could not stay with old dude because he was just kind of soft. You had that first year, and my God, you're doing great things. They passing for a lot of yards, but then the last few years it's been nothing. So they did a good job of switching coaches.
Yeah, so
But also,
the head coach is Jeff Hafley. He was
yeah,
our defensive coordinator for Green Bay, so now Jeff Hafley is the head coach
yeah,
for
yeah.
Miami.
And then another thing for them too, I think what they need cap space too, because even though he's still gonna be getting paid. I think
Yeah.
Waddle's contract was an issue because even though he got traded, like he still had to get paid his money. I think it was coming from Miami having to pay the salary because it was too much money they had to pay. I can't remember clearly on that, but I know they need to make cap space also so they could be able to reconstruct some of these. They need to reconstruct some of these veteran contracts so they could be able to reshape this team. And now for my Jets, yeah, look, we need a lot of work, but I'm happy to say that we don't need as much as Miami. Although Miami won more games than us, we don't, we're not as like in dire need as much as they are. But we do need to focus on our defense because our defense used to be the core of what we did, and now it's like last year. It's like what happened to our defense. So we need to get better on defense. We need to go ahead and add some corners, and we just need better defense because I don't know what happened to us last year. So I would say we also need wide receivers too because we also need to add to help Garrett Wilson. We need to be
Yeah,
able to help him out. If we could take
yeah.
some of that pressure off Garrett Wilson by having a number two, a true number two that's potentially like a number one, I think that'll help us big time. It looked like we got Geno Smith too, because I was looking at the thing and I'm like,
You
Geno
did.
Smith is on our roster. I'm like, wow.
Yep.
And I like Geno Smith. So now quarterback, I'm gonna say maybe we are good at that. Because remember, we had them before, we didn't know how to use them, we just didn't have the pieces around. So I think Geno has kind of grown over the last few years. So I think that's good if we can pick up another wide receiver to really kind of help the passing game. Maybe the tight end that we have right now, he looked like he might be a good tight end. So I'm not gonna really say worry about tight ends right now because having Geno Smith, I think he might feeling just fine. I think also too we need to acquire a player like Cornell Tate from Ohio State. I think that would be a good option for us. For defense, man, we I think we need a defensive end. We need a tackle. We need to put pressure on the quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? We need a lot because the defense look horrific. So I don't know. Yeah, we need a lot of work as well. But I'm glad it's not as much as Miami's.
All right, man, that's a good breakdown, man. I like that. Yeah. So yeah, the Jets, man. I will say, I remember last year. It was an interesting stat of how much time the Jets were behind. It was horrible how much time they've trailed the whole year from giving up points defensively. The only other team that was similar to that is Dallas Cowboys. So Cowboys fan, don't throw rocks at me. I'm just telling the facts, but it is what it is.
Just telling the
Hey,
facts.
did the Jets? I'm thinking too. Did the Jets get a new offensive coordinator?
I don't know if we got a
I'm
new
gonna
one.
see.
Yeah,
Give
if
me
we
a second.
didn't,
I'll give
we
you that.
definitely need one because that
I'm gonna tell.
offensive line was garbage. We need to protect
Man,
better,
I'm
man.
gonna tell you the truth, man. A lot of these I'm hearing everybody talking about why receivers can't get loose. It's cause sometimes these coordinators are trying to do these elaborate plays that do require double moves, and
Hmm.
they need to try to make it more simple because these guys ain't got time.
Yeah,
They need to come up with some more tight end screens or stuff like that,
Mhm.
some drags and stuff underneath, so then you could, handle the rush a lot better. So that's
I,
what I'm trying to see who gonna get new offensive coordinators and try and change it up. Because you said something about the Patriots, and that's definitely what they could have used in that Super Bowl.
so
mhm.
they did
Now,
get a new offensive coordinator, and they hired Frank Reich, who used to be the head coach for the Indianapolis Colts. So he's kind of bounced around a little bit, but he's a pretty good offensive coordinator, at least in the offensive years that he had. He's had 16 years of NFL coaching. He had a 5-year head coaching experience with the Indianapolis Colts, and he took that time. At that time, he took Indy to like a 40-33-1 record.
Cool.
So yeah, they made the postseason 2018, 2020. So yeah.
Was Jim Kelly backup in Buffalo back in the day?
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, and CJ, double moves are not bad neither. I mean, like you could do a double move, but it could be a short double move. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because it's pretty much redirect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you step 5 step, boom, hard, shake to the right, boom, cut to the left. Next thing you know, you got a quick, short, open pass. It don't have to always be a deep double move because those take
Yeah.
time to develop.
Yeah.
I think that's why. I think that's why what you call it got hit up though. Justin Fields got hit a lot because a lot of and the New York Giants prior to that when Daniel Jones was there, they kept doing elaborate plays. It took a minute for it
For it to
to
develop. Yep.
develop down the
Mhm.
field, and that's why he got tattooed a lot. So
True.
I want to see who's making changes when their quarterbacks are getting lit up like they are. So we go see.
Yeah.
We will.
Mm.
All right. So we'll go to the NFC South. We've definitely got some changes being made here. We got one team with the Panthers that got better last year.
Yeah.
You got the Atlanta Falcons. I'll let my man discuss that and his thoughts on that, his team. And
Yeah,
take it away, Wes.
yeah. So with the NFC South, man, it's wide open. I mean, you
Yeah.
got teams that are prioritizing their, their need explosive playmakers and defensive reinforcements. Uh, my Falcons, they don't have a first round pick. They only have 5 picks total in the draft, so it's going to be, I'm going to need a Hail Mary and some home run picks, especially in the second and third round. With that, I'll start with Atlanta, and I'll say the wide receiver position is urgently needed. A threat opposite of Drake London, something to help that depth. I know they went out and they signed 2 veterans in Johan Dotson and the the other kid from he's been a journeyman. He's back with them this time. I don't want to butcher his names. Zacchaeus, I believe. So
Zacchaeus.
either way,
Yep.
yeah. So that's nice. It's a good piece, but we're gonna have to be looking for more. Uh, you know, definitely interior defensive line. They allowed 4.6 yards per rush last year. That was 25th in the NFL. Linebackers, they'll be seeking some athletic, rangy starters for the middle of that defense. They have to have help since their number one, rookie from last year is looking at legal trouble.
Yeah.
Uh, so they'll be all over. I expect them to go in the second round. Cornerback though, I think their number one picks. They're going to use that on cornerback. They need some help there with Darrell Jr. and all. So we'll see how that goes. The Saints, they pick at number 8. Um, I'm looking at them to help out with the edge rusher. Cameron Jordan's future is uncertain there, and they need a premier pass rusher. Also, they'll be hunting for a wide receiver. They want a high end target, someone to pair with Chris, uh, Tyler Shaw. I think he's you know, that's definitely a need that they're going to be going back, and as well as a cornerback. They need someone to replace slot cornerback Taylor. He departed free agency. So, Carolina Panthers, they hold the number 1 pick. And it'd be interesting to see. I think they're going to go with another wide receiver. It seems crazy. It seems like they've had the number 1 pick for the past 7 years. Uh, and for 5 of those picks, it's been wide receivers, right? That's what it feels like, at least.
Yeah.
I think it's not going to change. I think they're going to go wide receiver again. I know they invested in McMillan, but I can see them going after another wide receiver apiece there for a QB. Also, safety. They resigned Nick Scott, but they still lack high level coverage playmakers. That was a problem. They got beat over the top often, early and often there.
Yeah.
Linebackers. There's going to be a lot to go here, I think, in this draft. But I think they're also going to be really looking for a linebacker just to anchor that defense there. Tampa Bay Bucks. They're going to be big on the defensive line, primarily focusing on finding some disruptive presence for the interior. Edge rushers. They're going to look to bolster the depth there at the rotation and just work people in and out to get that consistent pressure. Um, that's pretty much the South and what I feel like those drafts needs. Also have I believe I have the AFC too. I think I have the AFC
Yep.
South. Yeah. So it's a tale of two tales really. You got the NFC South is wide open, and teams are going to be prioritizing explosive playmakers and uh, you know basically just defensive reinforcements to pull ahead of it all. And the AFC, it's kind of the division to the South is the have-nots this year. Tennessee in full rebuild, while others are looking into plug specific holes. The
Yeah.
Titans do hold the number 4 pick,
They do.
so I think with new defensive coordinator in, I think they're going to be looking big at getting some help there on the edge. That's their biggest priority, I think. They're going to need like bookends for Jermaine Johnson out there. Um, Wide receivers looking for a number 1. Ever since they kind of got rid of AJ Brown, it just hadn't been the same. They tried a lot of combinations, and it's been wild. But good news is Cam Ward has got a cannon for an arm, so maybe if they can get someone in there, they can start beating some folks over the top there. Offensive line really need to look for a long term position there at center. I think they're going to be going offensive line a couple of times through the draft, trying to shore that up, trying to keep Cam Ward from getting knocked around. The Texans, I like what they did in the offseason, signed Will Blankenship, some others are really defensive minded there. I think they're still looking for maybe just a few pieces, and that being, an offensive line, someone for that interior. The Texans are picking 28th. They're going to need. I think they're going to be going after a left guard here for sure. Defensive tackles. They got to shore up that interior to match the strength of those edge rushers. So be looking for them to go. A lot of defensive tackles, linebackers to help with that defensive duties. Indianapolis Colts. They don't have a first round pick either. So like the Falcons, it's after is going to be pretty instrumental for them. They've lost a lot of depth, and it was a pretty good defensive unit last year. But they did lose some pieces, so I think linebacker would be.
Did we lose you? Okay, there we go.
No, I'm sorry. I was saying so. The Indianapolis Colts, they did have a pretty good defense last year, but I think they're going to be looking for the secondary, safety and cornerback, and they're also for a number 2, number 3 option after trading Michael Pittman Jr. Jacksonville Jaguars, again, no first round pick there, lieu of trade. They're going to have to replace Pro Bowler Devin Lloyd. He left for Carolina. The running back, they're seeking depth on Newton Rodriguez. It's going to be interesting to see what plays out there. And more, they'll need more explosiveness on that defense. So they got to compliment Josh Hines Allen and get some more folks there and just help on the depth.
Yep. All right. There you go with the AFC South. All right, so we'll keep it moving. And we got the NFC West. Ready to lock and load.
Okay. Well, I start with Arizona. They'll need another quarterback since Kyler Murray went to the Minnesota Vikings. They also going to need more of a pass rush and more O-line help because Kyler Murray was getting his head knocked off. He might ball out in Minnesota, to be honest, which I wouldn't be shocked if he did because he was like a dead man walking out there.
Yeah, true.
The Rams, they need a quarterback because Matt Stafford is getting up there. He can still sling it, but he's still getting up there. They need wide receivers because Devontae still playing high level, but he's 33. I'm sure he's looking for like one more big contract. Puka out here biting folks, being a freak. So he may end up going to jail today now for just the Me Too movement. I don't know. New celebrities, I don't know, new fame. You just don't know how to act. They need special teams help. That special teams really won that hot last year, the kicking game or the punt return game. 49ers, O-line help. That seems to be a theme everybody's teams. Everybody need O-line help, seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wide receiver. They wide receivers because of the cat, I can't think of his name. He signed the contract, and then he just, I don't know, went off the reservation. He got hurt or something. Brandon, something with an A.
Brandon
Ayuk.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk, yep.
Yeah, I don't know what they might end up cutting him, to be honest with you. Seattle, they need a running back because their running back went to, I want to say KC, I believe.
Yep.
So right now, but they still on a natural high. So they just need a running back. Everything else pretty much is pretty good for them. As far as the NFC, that's my take on the NFC West. I know I have the NFC West too. Okay. I'll say the best for last. Right now, WrestleMania going on right now, so the best for last. I'm saving it for right now. But the Denver Broncos, they need to add depth to their O-line because Knicks, honestly, I think if he played, they would have gone to the Super Bowl. That was my pick. Then they bolster the running game and tight end because I think Evan Ingram really wasn't what Sean Payton was looking for. He really didn't do what he thought he was going to do. KC, while they have Justin Fields, I don't know how long Mahomes is going to be out. Justin Fields playing with house money at the moment. But they do need a wide receiver. They need to add another pass rusher. to that squad. I hate saying that because I can't stand Kansas City. Even before Mahomes, they a
Yeah.
rival. But I don't know if I was Mahomes. Honestly, I'd just out the whole year. To be honest with you, I know it's supposed to be Travis last year potentially, but I just out the whole year. But some tell me he won't.
I mean, he's working out. he's already working out.
Yeah, so some tell me he probably won't. The Chargers.
He need a good tight end.
Let me see. O-line help. They need more weapons for Herbert. They got Mike McDonald. So I don't know how him and as far as his style with Harbaugh going to clash. Because Harbaugh is a psychopath and Mike McDonald. Just like James said earlier, was real soft and just kind of like low key. So I don't know if they may be good the first couple of games and then he just like lose his mind. But they do need O-line help badly, actually. The Raiders, come on, they need everything. They need quarterback. They need water boys. They need cornerbacks. They need O-line definitely. So I'm sure Geno. I'm actually happy for Geno, man, because Geno was getting his head knocked off last year too. So with Mendoza, thankfully got Kirk Cousins. West's homeboy. So
Oh yeah, I like Kurt, man.
So he's gonna be a nice little gap, a little bridge for us. But we need O-line help because we have the pieces. I mean, we have a running back, we have a tight end. The cornerbacks, we haven't really had a good defensive back in the field since like Namdi, to my opinion. But yeah. So once they get that situated, the O-line to me is the most important thing for the Raiders because if you want to have a franchise, you can protect him. I think that's why Gentry couldn't really get off last year because he was, like getting his head knocked off. He wasn't used to his line was better at Boise State. So, yeah, that's my prediction for the AFC West.
All right, man. Just think of this, guys, for a second before we move on. Man, for the Kansas City Chiefs, man, this is the first time in 9 years that they're picking in the top 10, and they got the ninth pick.
It's dangerous.
It's so crazy how, the run that they had, which I'm pretty sure they get on another one with that organization, but it's just crazy to see that they're picking so early. It's not the norm.
Hold up. What team did you just mention?
The Kansas City Chiefs, they
Kansas
picked
City
ninth.
Chiefs. Golly, ninth pick. That's insane.
Let me tell you something. I personally, the Kansas City Chiefs, their dominance, yeah, they had wide receivers, but their dominance came because of Mahomes and Kelsey. They need, if they can get a excellent tight end that can move like Kelsey, like Kelsey while he's there, then they'll be okay. The offense will be okay. Mahomes can work with everything else. He needs a dynamic tight end, and as long as they don't have that, they'll be easy to beat in a sense.
I'll show you one that they might target in just a little bit. We'll say that for a minute.
They actually have 2 picks in the first round. They got the 9th and the 29th.
Yeah, and that's crazy. So, and that is all the division. So these are some of the guys you might see coming up this draft, not knowing where some of these guys are going to be going.
The Bama kid can go to the Rams. He can sit. He can sit.
Oh yeah. I mean,
He can go to the Rams.
he could go to the Jets and he could sit too. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, look,
He's going to
sometimes
be a Jet.
that's how you get the gems. Sometimes
I think,
the ones
yeah,
you don't really expect
the Indiana quarterback, he definitely going to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cardinals.
The
The Cardinals definitely gonna go ahead and put him in a starting position.
You say going to the Cardinals.
It's
got these.
the
He'll
ones
be a
that
Jet.
yeah, it's the one that be the ones that get doubted a little bit. Those are the ones that show up. The ones who be talking up first pick, second pick, they the ones who be struggling most of the time.
All right, this is Jeremiah Love. He's the number one running back, kind of like do it all running back. I would say similar to Christian McCaffrey and what the running back out of Atlanta is doing currently.
But tell you the truth, with all these needs, I could see him dropping to the second round though. The crazy. That's the crazy. I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm just saying everybody's needs.
It's
Yeah, true.
different.
I can see him dropping to the second round just because they need an O line. They need
Right.
this. They need that.
They need to
I'm
protect.
gonna just say it like this. I'll almost bet you money he's definitely. I don't even think he's gonna drop anywhere past the 15th pick. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be in
I
the
think it's
top
top
10,
10.
but
I think top 10.
yeah, definitely top 10 for this guy. Jeremiah Love, he's definitely gonna be going very early, I would assume. Now, the one that I was gonna say, Kenyon Sadiq, the one in the middle right here for Oregon,
Oh yeah.
like 6'4", about 250,
Yes. Yes. That
and
it,
he runs well. I watched a lot
when
of
I
his
tell
games
you,
out
I would
here.
not be surprised if the Chiefs don't grab
That's who
him.
I think they're gonna go after. Yeah.
Boy, I think that's exactly who they're looking for.
Yeah. All right, so you got Carnell Tate. I think James mentioned him earlier. Great receiver out of Ohio State. He's going to be off the board pretty fast. Makai Lemon over here for USC. It's about 5'11", 190. I mean, he's excellent route running. I watched a
Yeah.
good bit of his games this past year. Out here on the Pacific Northwest, that's a lot of games we get the chance to watch because everything it goes off early. So,
Right. Right.
um, but yeah, that guy will definitely be in there in the mixed. Is King Sadiq. Well, that one. Offensive lineman. Uh, that group, they're the unsung heroes. If teams like what Amon said, if you're the Raiders, I can't understand why. I'm almost to the point. If I'm the Raiders, I try to forget the second round pick. I try to move back up and get one of those linemen before it's all said and done. Because what's the use of getting Mendoza
Right. Right.
if you're gonna have him get sacked so many times? You're not gonna block for him. What's
Yeah.
the purpose? You might as well just go in first round pick and go offensive lineman, get another offensive lineman second round, and build a lineup so that way when you do have a quarterback, you can
Because
play freely.
because they got somebody during the off season,
Yeah.
didn't they?
They
They
got
did.
they got the
Let me get
center
it
from
for you.
Yeah,
Baltimore
they
Ravens.
got Tyler Lunderman.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
mean, they've got good pieces left and right guard, but they will sure up. I mean, they will sure up that offensive line for sure. That will be addressed in the draft, at least for one or two picks.
Yeah. So let me see if I can get that list for you that you said that they got. Yeah, they actually made a lot of moves
Yeah, they did.
in the
They
offseason.
made a lot of moves. Yep.
So they re-signed tight
Tom
end
Brady
Ian
knows what he's
Thomas.
talking about.
Yep. They re-signed center Will Putnam. They got Kirk Cousins from the Falcons. They signed a linebacker, Sagun Alubi. Some names that you might know. They signed center Tyler Lindenbaum. So they did get a center that's pretty good. They got Quay Walker from us. Quiddy Pay. Jalen Naylor. He's one of the ones that you saw some bomb catches in the New York
Yeah.
Giants last year. So they got Taron Johnson. In terms of, they also got cornerback Eric Stokes from Green Bay as well. Green
Yeah.
Bay just basically gave him
Yeah.
Christmas gift early. So,
I think that was a good pick for the Raiders though, picking up Kirk Cousins.
it
Yeah,
was.
that's a really good
Yes.
move.
It
Yeah.
was.
I think he got some
Yeah,
football left in him.
agreed. Yeah,
Now,
and
this guy
who
right here
better
that's on the
to
screen, let me
mentor?
ask everybody, do you think Ruben Bain is going to go in the top 10 of the picks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to see where everybody was at. The talk was that he had alligator arms in the combine and that his arms were short. And so, yeah, we'll see.
I don't know.
Me personally, regardless of whether the guy had alligator arms or not, he was sacking people like crazy. I know
Oh
my
yeah.
team, Florida State, couldn't block him at all.
I mean,
They couldn't block him in the national championship game to me.
And,
A few
hey, and
plays.
just because he has short arms, man, he might be able to get under them long arm fellas and
Exactly.
just hook them and just keep going.
Exactly.
It don't matter how short or long your arms are. If they can't block you and you getting by, it don't matter. It's
That's
like
all I'm
having
saying.
yeah, it's like having a short quarterback. Oh yeah, he's too
Yeah.
short. He can't see over people. You got these short quarterbacks, accuracy, know how to throw the ball. It's about, you know what I'm saying? It's about your like it's about the talent. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
The size don't matter. It's the heart.
Yeah.
That does
True.
seem freakishly small there. I don't know. I'm
He
just
did.
kidding.
He did. So the last two photos I showed, this guy here, Sonny Styles. Ohio State is loaded, as y'all already know, but
Mhm.
they're gonna
Yeah.
have you got Carnell Tate, you got Sonny Styles right here. This guy, man, they're predicting him to be possibly, man, already and it's early, Hall of Fame type linebacker.
Oh wow.
And that's what I'm
That's the
saying.
talk
Like,
of
like
him.
they're talking like the Giants are gonna go ahead and scoop him up because when
I
you
think
see
they
the
should if he's, especially if he's there yet.
yeah, and he will he'll be there based off of because like you said, everybody else has different needs, so
Different
yeah,
needs,
he'll
yeah.
be there, and yeah, you could go ahead and turn him into something. Yeah, I'll take him before you give him to Dallas,
Yeah.
most definitely.
Because Dallas definitely gonna be looking and lurking.
I mean, the
Mhm.
Jalen
thing is
Downs.
though, if you're a team and you're smart and you say, okay, well, if I acquire this player, even though I don't need him, and I go ahead and trade him to get, to get more pieces, I mean that would be a smart move too. If you know he's that type of caliber Hall of Fame player, if they're labeling him the king
Yeah,
already, so.
that's it.
All
I
right.
said we
So
could we
a
could use
topic I want to throw out there right quick. Well, CJ, did you have something you was gonna say? Yeah, go ahead.
no. I told him I said we could use Styles too.
Yeah, through that. The topic I want to talk about, just two questions before we end out the show. Uh, and I'll go around the room on this one. And I'll start with you, CJ. Should Ty Simpson out of Alabama be drafted #1 in the first round? What do you
No.
think?
That's
Okay,
a,
tell me your thoughts on it.
that's an easy no. Not in the first. Not he's not a talented first round
Okay.
quarter. He's not a talented first round quarterback. But if he gets picked up, it's just due to what another team if they got a picks or not and
Hmm.
stuff. Like they don't have no picks in that second round, and we gonna have to get them. There's only two teams that need quarterbacks, and that's the Raiders and the Arizona Cardinals. Need a quarterback. Besides that, he can be secondary. They can grab him. They can scoop him up around the third round.
Okay. Uh, Amon, what do you think? Do you think he goes first round?
Honestly, I think somebody's gonna panic and take him first round. I don't know who, but I think somebody's gonna panic. I can see him going between like 18, like 28, somewhere up in there. I don't know who though. Because I know next year supposed to be the year of the quarterback, so a lot of guys coming out next year. But I think if you really panicking and just need something, a good backup or a good, third string, whatever, they'll pick him. Now, will I waste a first round pick? No, but I mean, hell, Peyton Lynch got drafted in the first round, a couple years ago. So you know,
Yeah.
he's good insurance. I play like that.
Okay. All right. James, what about you? What do you think about Tyson?
So I'm gonna tell you what others think, and I'm gonna tell you what I think.
Okay.
He's actually predicted to go first round, like mid to late first round. However, the amount of games he played, he hasn't really proven nothing. And even if you look at his numbers don't really speak on take me first round. You're talking about he plays a full season, 64.5% completion on this thing, 28 touchdown, 5 interception. Honestly, for college ball, it should be way better than that. You know what I'm saying? Look, you come to the pros, your numbers gonna drop. You ain't gonna see them college numbers, and that's not even impressive for college numbers for me. So, nah, I would say you wait. If you're a team who needs a quarterback, you wait till the second round because there's a lot of other picks that needs to be had. People need to work on defense. They need to work on other offensive position. You wait second, maybe even early third round to probably pick him up if you really feel like you might have a gem here.
All right. And just to give everybody just a little feel of what the guy's done, he's played in 15 games. That was last year. That's as a junior. He has 64.5% completion, 3,567 yards, passing, 28 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So what the knock is that he hasn't played in a lot of games. How much do you really know about him in order for him to be drafted so high? Um, I'm gonna go ahead and get my take, and I get West in here. Um, I don't think I'm almost like CJ. I think if you're gonna pick him, let him be a late first round pick for a team that just they need a quarterback going into the second round, but you want to get him before somebody else does. That would be the only scenario where I see him going in the first round. Me personally, I think because we're still unclear yet of Aaron Rodgers and the people that they have on the team. They did go over the quarterback last year from Ohio State. His name is it's going over my head right now. But that's a team that I think that could use him possibly. But that's the only team I see on the list of draft needs down the road, just because you don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do right now, which is I'm kind of glad we are Green Bay Packers are far past that boat with Aaron Rodgers. Anyway, I digress. Wesley, what do you say about Ty Simpson?
Yeah, I know that he is the consensus, the number two quarterback in the class with a lot of people, and they praise his footwork and his high IQ. Uh, we know looking at stats that it shows, not too favorable for our, Alabama QBs in general, a lot of times.
Hmm.
Uh, but especially those with 15 games or less getting into the NFL. But I would say that I don't know if y'all. I'm sure you've all watched like the QB, the Gruden QBs, and all that goes on with the bench with the sports and all. And
Hmm.
I'm a real believer in those. I love them. I can't get enough of them, and I subscribe. But I will say, out of out of the top five quarterbacks that I would consider my top five, uh, I would be willing, with the high ceiling that Simpson has, of putting him in the first round. And I could
Okay.
see him going to the Steelers at 21, and that would be a very high top pick due to what you just mentioned. But I could also see him being the 32nd pick, and I could see him going to the Jets. But say he scoots out of that first round, I think the Cardinals, if he gets past the Jets, he'll be a Cardinal within that early second.
Yeah.
So, time will tell, but I think, he will have a pretty good. It just depends on the fit again. Everywhere you go, the scheme of things. But I do like his moxie. I like his IQ. I think he's a good kid like Mendoza. I can see a lot of attributes pretty much
Yeah.
the same there.
Yeah.
And I he's a winner. I mean, he's a proven winner, even if it's 15 games.
But Eve, that's why I wanted to compare, like use a comparison too. Using Mendoza, right? You look at Mendoza's numbers, 72% completion, 9.3 yards average per throw, 41 touchdowns, 6 interception. And then you on the other side, 28 touchdown, 5 interception. That's a big difference to me in college ball. And
Yeah,
the thing,
but
yeah,
what's the scheme?
yeah. You can set a
I mean,
scheme, but
Alabama wants to run the ball first,
yeah,
but
exactly. But
but
you think
still,
about that, right?
yeah,
That's another thing. That's another part of the argument. You want to run the ball first. When you're a real good running team, which gonna make your passing game looks good. So what are you telling me? You see what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
You going to the big leagues now. Players are faster. You ain't gonna have time to process. You ain't gonna have time to think. And you talk about and then the team you're going to also, are they gonna be that type of running team that's be a good running team to actually give you time to actually make plays? Those numbers to me don't equate to nothing, you can really be too sure who you're getting in a draft anyway, right? Because you get a number one
Yeah,
pick, they a bust. You get a Tom
yeah.
Brady, but I
It's like
wouldn't
the
pick him
Moneyball
that high.
approach.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't pick him that
You
high
wouldn't
though.
pick him that
yeah.
high.
It's the
Okay.
Moneyball approach. I say, no one can look in that crystal ball and say, well,
Hmm.
that's going to happen. But
Exactly.
I would say if there's anyone that could that could probably fix this kid, it's going to be the Jets. That's what I feel like. I feel like it is going to be. It's going to be a New York Jet.
Look, I'm the only one bold enough to have my garbage team, right now on the back. But look, we've been through so many quarterbacks. We pick high. We
Right,
always fell on picking quarterbacks. No, I don't
right.
believe the Jets can fix any QB. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. And
CJ,
I think, hey, they
CJ,
say
you
the
look like
Jets
you had something you wanted to
2027.
say. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, nah, hey man, James, y'all just need to draft in the second round. Pick your quarterback in the second round, and then y'all be
Exactly.
okay.
Maybe we'll be more successful.
Yep.
I was going to say, y'all remember Cardell Jones, right, from Ohio State?
Yep.
Okay, so remember the spring season, Braxton Miller had switched to wide receiver, so J.C. Barrett is the starter. He had hurt. Cordell Jones was like he took Ohio State to the championship. Everybody was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. He came back. He played like 12 more games. He got drafted with third round. Flamed out in Buffalo. I think he played like in the USFL now. So really, those games actually help. You do need more games in
You need
like
more games.
yeah.
Yeah,
And he won a championship against Alabama.
Yeah,
but tell you the truth, of mine, man, it's also to the scheme of how these coaches are. Because some of them coaches, man, want them players just to run a simple scheme. They're not developing them quarterbacks in college. So when they get to the NFL, they really unprepared. It's only a handful of them that got that knowledge and they like NFL ready knowledge wise, but now they gotta react to it. But a lot of them ain't even developed, man.
right.
But
And
I
that's what I
tell you,
liked about just the high IQ of Simpson because he does have a very high IQ. Now, someone with less 15 games too, Cam Ward.
True that. I
Cam
agree with that.
Ward didn't have but a handful of games, and so it's going to be interesting to see his sophomore year and how he goes. But I don't know, man.
yeah.
Yeah, I do believe though the grade is warranted. I think after watching from last year, this year with the QB, with the Gruden QB challenging and all that challenges, it's I think yeah. I mean, if I had to turn in a name and I was throwing darts, why not? You know,
But my perspective is what I would do if I'm a team, and I feel like this guy might be the guy, you know. And I would wait because if you look at, you just play a little game of chess. If you look, okay, he ain't have a lot of games. A lot of people ain't really having trust in him. There's a few other quarterbacks that's higher prospect than him. So let me go ahead and wait, see if I could get him, mid to late second round. Use my other picks to get me something that I really need, like one of those players that's really highly rated, that has really show impact on defense or offensive
yeah,
line or whatever you need, and you get that one on the back end, and you get
yeah,
the buck for your money. Yeah.
Let me throw this out there before we end that talk on Ty Simpson. One point that I want to make is he was smart in this. He came out this year because next year it is so loaded at quarterback
Yeah, that's
that you're
smart.
going to be so. I mean, there's so many quarterbacks that are coming out next year across the board. One in turn, and everybody knows about Arch Manning. He's going to be coming out. Let's just say it right there. But you have a lot more to pick out of that are top tier quarterbacks for next year. So if I'm one of those teams that I know I need a quarterback, but I already have something to get me through this year, I'm looking at other positions, and I might just wait. That's me.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so that'll end our show for today. We will see how these drafts turn out this coming Thursday. As always, please like us, subscribe to our channel on YouTube as well as Facebook. And until the NFL draft, level up, and I will see y'all next time.
All right, level up, fellas.
yeah.